What's up, guys? Back for another Star Wars video. In this one, we're going to go over Lingshas best teams. Now, let me know in the comments if you had good luck summoning for Lingsha. Unfortunately, I am not summoning for her, so there won't be any gameplay showcases from me unless I like bring her into something that you can bring a friend into, like a boss or I don't know, like a trace domain or something. But like, I mean, I you guys probably don't want to see that, right? If you do, I guess let me know in the comments. But yeah, let me know how your summons went, and let's just jump into the video because as you see, I have absolutely no summons. Hopefully, though, I do end up getting the new light cone right here. But that's a whole other video in itself right there. So let's jump up on over to here. Right now, no shocker here, Lingsha is a break effect healer. She increases break damage when you ult with her. Overall, she's a very good healer, so obviously her best team is going to be break. So I'm gonna put the team that you would build, or I'm gonna try to go DPSs first, and then the supports, or if there's multiple DPSs, they're just all gonna go into the one slot, and then I'll explain it as I go along. And then I'll have some honorable mentions, and the honorable mentions will either be characters you can run her with that are maybe not as good as the other ones, but we'll get to it, right? So first things first, the best team is break, and with that, the best break units are going to be at the top. So this is going to be Firefly, Boot Hill, and funny enough, Himiko. Yes, Himiko. And then obviously your sports are going to be like May, Harmony MC, right? And even March 7th, but I'm going to put her on the list in a different spot, right? Now, Break is an absolutely disgustingly broken team. It's so good, and it'll probably just keep being good until they just make more bosses that lock their toughness, like the Firefly slash Sam fight, right? Now, Lingsha obviously is the sustain on this team, is pretty much the replacer to Gallagher. Unfortunately, shout out to my boy, he held it down, but Lingsha is the better healer, while Gallagher is better in other areas, right? Obviously, if you are going to replace someone, it's Gallagher, so he's going to be chilling on the side bench for a while. But obviously with Firefly, they're both fire, and Firefly implants fire, so Linksha's best teammate by far is going to be Firefly, right? They're best buddies. And then Himiko is similar circumstance, where if you're running Super Break Himiko, you're going to be doing it against enemies that are weak to fire. Lingshia is fire, so you get the most value out of that. And then Boot Hill, obviously you have to probably either run it on a all fire team or one that's weak to both fire and physical. Luckily, Budo can implant weakness, so it's a W there. But it is a bit harder to, just slap Lingsha on Boot Hill's team, even though she does work really good for him, just because they're different typings. And you can't just be like, okay, Firefly gives Lingsha the fire weakness, and Himiko, you're just going to be running against fire weak enemies anyway, right? But they still work, right? Break DPSs. Then obviously Harmony MC and Ruin May are the supports for Super Break, and then Weakness Break Efficiency to give Lingshia and the DPSs more of a buff. Now, on to the next team, which is sort of a surprise, not really, it's follow-up. Lingshia has a follow-up attack in the form of what I like to call the bunnies, just because they're just so cute. I think it's like Funyan, I believe is their actual name. So we're going to have the follow-up attack team, which is going to be Fei Zhao, Ratio, where is good old March? I know she's on here. March, Topaz, Mose. She's pretty much going to be the sustain. Now, Adventuring is still better than her, right? But since she is such an excellent healer, you can still take advantage of it anyway. Plus, if you're running her with Ratio, her ult is a debuff, so you will get the buff from having a debuff on the enemy, thanks to Lingsha's ult. Even though the break effect won't help really at all with this team, if you really just need a sustain and you don't have a Venturian and you summon Lingsha anyway, like I said, I wouldn't recommend summoning for Lingsha unless you're using her for break teams, right? But if whatever reason you just need a sustain on your follow-up attack team and you've been using like Natasha, Lynx, heck, even like Luocha, or hell, even Gallagher, right? And you want someone who's better, Lingshia is definitely the move, because like I said, she has a debuff on her ult for Ratio, she has follow-up attacks for Fei Zhao to get her ult faster, plus You know, if they're weak to fire, with you bring Topaz to the fight, you know, she's going to help lower their toughness as well, which can be a big W. But overall, nothing too crazy synergy-wise. It's mostly just follow-up attacks, right? So they'll do a little bit more damage. Fei Zhao, ratio, big W there. And then that's pretty much it. She really just focuses on being an actual healer and nothing really else. Then for S, we have good old Acheron. Now, the only reason Acheron is an S for this is because Lingshas ult is a debuff, which will give her 1 stack of her ultimate. Now, Gallagher is actually just way better in this regard if you're running a sustain, but we got to mention it because this is obviously Lingshas team building and not what does she replace Gallagher in. You know, that could be a whole other video. I'm probably not going to do that, but is technically a better sustain than running someone like, let's say, Lynx or Natasha or Luocha or hell, even Ho-Ho in some circumstances, because they're not, even though Ho-Ho is giving Acheron a buff, it's not getting Acheron her ult. So Lingshas is actually a solid option. Obviously, you're going to want to run other characters that give debuffs because Lingshas ult is going to be fueling Acheron's ult all by itself, but it is a option to run, and that's why I have it in S. Then for A, and this is pretty much like the most reach you can get, is going to be Dot with like Black Swan and Kafka. Where's Black Swan? I can't see her. I'm blind. Also, I forgot to put Robin up here. I apologize. Uh, the list was sorted because I was going over and doing a different video with them. So now they're all confused. I should have just hit reset because now I actually can't find Black Swan. I'm blind. Someone saw her like a year ago. Oh, no, she's not on it. Oh, she's right here. Duh. But anyway, same things apply for Robin. The follow-up for the bunnies will help Robin get her ult faster. And yeah, if you're building your speed, more attacks, I guess, could also help, right? But anyway, in the terms of Dot, with Dot teams, you pretty much just run effect hit rate, attack percent, and then you can run break effect as well if you really wanted to. They don't really run crit damage, so it's like, might as well run that. So damage, I mean, it's not going to be anything crazy, but I mean, it's something. It's mostly just the only really team I could think of putting there that isn't just a generic, like, hyper carry, right? Because realistically speaking, you could do, like, Zele, Bronya, Ting Yun, and then Lingxia is the same, right? Lingxia works with pretty much everybody. She is probably going to be the second best sustain, right? Beating out Fuchuan and Ho-Ho, because even though she doesn't boost anything for most teams that aren't break, she is still having an emergency heal, which is when a character on the team gets low on HP, she immediately follows up and heals them, which does cleanse a debuff, and it is AoE. She heals on her skill, which is AoE, and she heals on her ult, which is AoE. So all of her healing skills are AoE, so there's not single targets, so you don't have to worry about 2 characters being low. She has an emergency heal in her ult, so if you're getting hit and you pop your ult, you can heal and you'll live, or the follow-up will even do it as well, which is a very valuable thing, because the amount of times I've died back in the day, or just even now, using a character who doesn't have an emergency heal, like let's say Gallagher doesn't have an emergency heal. Oh my lord, the amount of times I've gotten really unlucky in a run and Gallagher just can't heal me last second is a lot, and it's actually pretty annoying. So I value the emergency heal very, very well. This character will pretty much keep you alive in all circumstances, which is really nice, especially if you're just starting out. But in terms of honorable mention, I'd probably have to put Jade, because Jade is follow-up attacks. And funny enough, I've actually seen a lot of clips of Lingshas and Jade together for some reason. Not too sure what that's about, but I have seen it. Then there's also the other break units like Su Shang, Luca, and Jue as well. Obviously, her best team is going to be the 3 up here, but you know, if you don't have them and you want to try out break and you have, you know, Ruin May, these 3 can put in some work. I did a video on Luca and he absolutely cooked Apocalyptic Shadow. Obviously, I'm not saying summoning for Lucia, Jesus. Summoning for Lingshas because of someone like Luca. Like, oh, I need her for Luca. Like, maybe focus on something else, right? But these are honorable mentions that I felt like should be considered when trying to build teams for Lingshas. But other than that, that's pretty much going to be it for the video. Like I said, Lingshas works well with pretty much everybody as a sustain. These are just the teams that could take advantage of not just your healing, but any other factors as well, right? Even though I guess the top team is kind of reaching with it, right? But I mean, hey, I thought I'd mention it because they actually can use break effect more than someone like, let's say, like Zayle's not gonna be like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough break effect on my Zayle. What the heck? I'm like, that sucks. I need Lingshas. Like, no one's saying that, right? But at least with Dot, it's like, okay, I have attack percent, I have speed, I have effect hit rate. You know, break effect would probably be like the next thing. Like, oh, if I had my 4 stats, like, oh, it's break effect, and that's pretty okay, better than crit damage or crit rate, right? But like I said, other than that, that's it for the video. Let me know what kind of teams you are running Lingshas with in the comments. Do you have the teams without Lingshas and you're considering summoning? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.